Good morning, everybody. It's good to be here, and I'm hoping everybody is having a blessed day. Today, I am going to be replacing a hard drive in a Dell all-in-one computer. Now, when I say all-in-one, that means everything that a desktop tower has that's separated from the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse is separated from that unit. But in an all-in-one unit, everything is built within inside the unit. So I have a Dell unit here in front of me today, and it has a crashed hard drive, meaning nothing is working to get this operation window to start. I have did a diagnostic on the computer, and everything passed. The motherboard passed, the memory passed, uh, the central processing unit passed, which is the processor, the little square box with all the needles, little square with all the needles coming out of it. That's your processor. That's actually the heart of the motherboard. That's what function the motherboard to operate. That passed. All that passed, along with other hardware units within inside the computer, passed, except for the hard drive. Now, when you get a crash hard drive, many things can happen that cause that hard drive to crash. It can be viruses, it can be third-party hacking, it can be bad files, it can be updates, it can be anything that's going to cause it. In this case, it wasn't a virus, it wasn't a third-party hacking. This was a bad file, which caused the hard drive to completely stop. Now, within that hard drive, you have a disk. This is what you call a hard drive. This is a hard drive for a bigger desktop computer for a tower. And within inside this hard drive, you have a disk and you have the operation on bar. The operation on bar is what intakes all the information from this disk. If this disk is not spinning, this on bar will not detect any information from it. So when it crashes, the on bar is actually supposed to be on the inside. But when it boots up, it's supposed to jump to the outside. Okay? It's supposed to jump to the edge of the disk. So that's where your operation system starts. If it's once it crashes, it's gonna automatically jump to the center of the disk, which means it will not detect any information on this disk at all. This is like you playing a record player on your record. On your record player, you putting your record on, and you got your arm bar. You have to put your arm bar on the record in order to play the music. Well, on the hard drive, the disk is spinning, but the information on bar is what detecting everything that's on that disk. Okay, so I tell people at times, when you get a computer, make sure your computer stay updated. Make sure you have your virus protection on your computer, which is another live video that I'm going to be doing on live chat. But to give you a short scenario of a virus protection, a lot of people go out and buy these virus protection, McAfee, Norton 360. They go out and buy all these virus protection for their computer, thinking that it's actually going to protect their computer. It only protects your computer in some areas. It doesn't give you a full protection. Okay, your computer automatically has a built-in virus protection where you do not need to buy another virus protection to put on your computer. Buying a virus protection is wasting money, because what you're doing is you're putting this on there. Now that virus protection file is so big that it's going to start slowing your computer down. So my recommendation, don't buy no virus protection. Use the built-in virus protection that you already have on your computer. Okay. Now this is an all-in-one desktop. Nice. It's a nice older model desktop computer. It's got your camera, and it's got all. It has no buttons at the top or at the bottom. It only got one power button, and that's in the middle. Okay. It is a touchscreen computer. You can either go touchscreen or you can go keyboard or mouse. Okay. So today we're going to talk about replacing the hard drive in this computer. I got my screwdriver, got my knife, got my little screwdriver kit, just in case I need to go into getting some small screws out the back. Okay. Got my coffee, got my phone, and we're gonna dig into this unit. I do have the new hard drive that we're going to be replacing the hard drive with. Okay, the old hard drive with. Now, I'm going to tell you what some computer technicians will not tell you. Okay, anytime they repair your hard drive and you not knowing what they actually doing, some technicians will replace a lower gigabyte hard drive in place of the original hard drive that you have in there. Say this is a terabyte hard drive within inside this computer, and you take it to the shop. They say yes, we can fix it, but then they can take a 500 gigabyte or a 250 gigabyte or 160 gigabyte hard drive, replace it in place of the terabyte hard drive. You won't even know, because if you don't know, you're not going to pay attention to it. So we're going to open this computer. I did buy the correct hard drive for this computer. This has a 1 terabyte hard drive in it, and I bought a 1 terabyte hard drive to match. Okay, 1 terabyte hard. I know you can't see it. But this is a 1 terabyte hard drive. I'd rather be honest with the customer than trying to beat the customer. Okay, because you do have technicians out there that will try to get over on the customer and take them for the money. Well, we're not supposed to do that. Okay, we're not supposed to do that. I am licensed in computer technology. I went to college for the hardware and the software. Okay, so I only repair the hardware of the computer and repair the software of the computer, which meaning installing Windows, installing Microsoft, anything that's hardware to be installed on the hard drive. Okay, so keep in mind, the first sign, an example, you driving your car, your check engine light comes on, and you see that your check engine light comes on. Instead of taking your car to the shop to figure out why your check engine light comes on, you drive the car for a long period of time with the check engine light on. Now the car done ran into some more problems because the check engine light was ignored. Okay, Not saying that when you notice something wrong, and it's hard to notice something wrong with a computer, okay, because a computer don't have no check engine light. That's why it's so important to keep your computer updated, to keep it to make sure it stayed updated. I tell people all the time, do not turn your computer off, because your computer have to update. As long as it's connected to a Wi-Fi or a hardwire Ethernet cable, leave your computer on, let it go to sleep so it can update. Okay, don't turn your computer off at all. Just let it, put it in sleep mode. And if you want to wake it up, all you got to do is just move your mouse or hit an N on the keyboard, and it'll wake the computer up. But your computer have to stay updated, okay? So we're going to replace this new hard drive for the old hard drive. And it brings me to, what do God do with us? If I'm not mistaken, in Psalms 51, it talks about creating a new heart. Okay, so if God going to create us a new heart, so we can function better within our flesh, then we're going to accept what He give us. This is the heart going to this computer. Okay, I'm going to replace the old heart for the new. Okay, so even though I'm saying the heart, this is actually the hard drive. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to turn the computer off, because it's been stuck on this screen forever. Turn the computer off. Now, I have a blanket up under this computer for a reason, because of the screen. Okay, you never want to place an all-in-one computer on a hard surface, for the simple fact you can either crack the screen or you can scratch up the screen, and that's going to put you into more money. So I've got this on a soft cloth. Now, as I look around this all-in-one, I don't see any screws for me to detach the back off of it. Okay, all-in-ones either going to have screws or they're going to have clips where you can push in and it'll pop off. But in this case, matter of fact, let me turn this around. In this case, I see a door back here. I'm going to flip this door up, take this door off. Okay, in order for me to get to where I need to get at, I need to take all this off. So I'm going to take my screwdriver. Don't lose your screws, okay? Keep your screws to where you can actually reach them. Keep your screws where you can actually reach them. Now that I got these 4 screws out and I see no other screw, I'm going to lift up and take off the leg rest. I'm going to remove the leg rest. Now, when you go removing this back panel, you have to be very, very careful. You just can't start popping. And because if you start doing that, then you're going to break the pins on the inside. And then now once you go put it back on, you're going to have a loose end, okay? Everything's going to be loose. So I'm going to turn this around. And I'm going to gently take my fingers and I'm going to press up. I'm going to press up until I hear it pop. Once I hear it pop, now I can gradually start removing the back. Okay, that's why I say be very careful when you are moving the back of a all-in-one computer. This is what the inside of a all-in-one computer look like on some of them, not all of them. Okay, not all of them. You have your fan, which is your cooling system. They'll help cool off the mother. They help cool off the processor to keep the motherboard cool. You have your camera system up here. You have your power button. You have your speakers. You got your speakers, and you got your hard drive. If I were to remove this plate, I would be exposing the motherboard. Okay, but the motherboard right now, the motherboard is not the issue. The issue is the hard drive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take and remove the hard drive. Remove the hard drive. Pop it out. Now this is where this is your hard drive. This is what keeps all the information on your system. Without this system means nothing. It means nothing to you because you have to have the heart to boot and get this system going. Okay. Although the processor is the heart of the motherboard, this is the heart of the system. Okay. So you see, I got a terabyte crash hard drive, and I got the terabyte new hard drive. We're gonna take this old hard drive out. Okay, then when I say I had to go into my my small kit, yeah, I come prepared. See if we get the right one here. We need to get this hard drive off the support case. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. That's not going to work. Just please feel free to ask. And I do repair all-in-one computers, desktop computers, because I'm licensed in operation system for Windows computers. In order to repair Apple Mac computers, that's a totally different license. Okay. That's a totally different license. So that's something totally different to repair Apples and to repair Apples. You know, because the system setup in Apple computers are totally different from Windows setup. So we're going to remove the 4 screws for the hard drive. Now, if you can't remember how to once you take this hard drive out and you can't remember how to put the new hard drive in, turn the hard drive to where it's going to go back into the computer. Okay? We're going to remove this hard drive, and we're going to replace it with this hard drive. Okay? Just that simple. We're going to put the screws back in. I'm gonna put the screws back in. I always go from corner to corner instead of going from side to side, because you want to make sure that all the holes are lined up with the computer. Okay. Now with this desktop, this is going to be an easy process because I didn't have to remove anything just to get to this hard drive. The hard drive is actually sitting on the outside, but in some all-in-ones, the hard drive is either going to be on the outside, it's either going to be over here, at the bottom, at the top, a dead smack up under the motherboard. On some, not all, but on some. Okay. Now, once I got this hard drive in, I put it back in its place, and I slide it right back in. Make sure it's got a good attachment. Take my screwdriver. Put it back in. And that's it. Now, although I do have this open, at the same time, while I do have this open, I always check to make sure there's nothing going on with the cables of the connections. Okay? For the simple fact, if there's a pinch in the cable, then that can run into another issue. But there's no pinch in the cable. There's no pinch in the cable to go in for that issue. So once I'm done with that, I take the cover. Let me turn it around. Take the cover. Put it down. And I just gradually put it all back in place. Okay, I look around just to see if there's any gap. If there is, it don't take much to pop it back in. Just don't put too much pressure popping them back in. Don't put too much pressure on it, because if you put too much pressure on it, then you're gonna mess up the screen. You can mess up the board. Now once I got that back on there, I'll take my armrest bar, put it back on. Take my screws, put it back on. Ah. Come on now. We're going it's always that one knucklehead that want to try to ruin stuff for you. Put it in. Take it, put the clamp back on, put the plate back on. Stand it up. And there you have it. Replacing the old hard drive for the new hard drive. Never take things for granted when you when you doing something. Okay. Always be cautious. As much as careful as I was with this computer, that's how careful you should be when it comes to your life. If God creating you a new heart, take that new heart and use it for the good. Because he done gave you a pure heart. He done cleansed you up, and he gave you something new. Don't take for granted what things that are for you that's not really for you, but they are against you. I thank you for watching. Now my next step is to put in the operation system. Once I put the operation system on, I will go live again and show you the outcome of the work. I thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in. You have a blessed day.